Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of CES 2018 right here on BeTerrific. Thanks so much for joining us. We're an official media partner. Very proud of that. We're live from the Las Vegas Convention Center, high atop Central Hall. I'm Michael Artsis at BeTerrific TV on all social media. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget, you can download our app in the Apple TV Store. Of course, you can also do that in Roku, Android TV, and Amazon Fire. And you can watch us on your television. You can take us on the go with iOS and Android as well on your phone. And of course, you can go to BeTerrific.com to watch all the content. You can join our Twitch chat and watch on Twitch, twitch.tv/BeTerrific. And of course, you can find us in a slew of other places, including on television. Really excited about our next guest because his name is David Rogers. He's from a company called Elite Screens. It happens that we're using Elite Screens here for the second year in a row to create the backdrop on set. We rear project onto a rear projector Elite screen, and then we run video using Pro Video Player 3 software to map this all out and make it look nice for you guys so we can change our backdrop. Last year we had a little bit of fun with it, and we put all sorts of different backdrops on. This year I said, let's just make it Vegas, keep it simple. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, Michael. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
And,
what's new at Elite Screens?
Everything. What a lot of people have been really concentrating on this year is moving the larger-than-life projection image out of that dark room in the back and into the living space. So projectors and screens are coming down, down, down in cost, which is great. Means everybody can get that larger-than-life picture in their house. It's replacing the television set, and in order to do that, there have been a whole slew of specialty materials that are coming out and are available now to make that happen.
Yeah, I think that it's very cool that you guys are changing with the market to make it not only more affordable, but better technology, right? The key with projection is lumens in the projector, but you have to be very careful.
Right.
So what I've found out is that most projector companies only tell you, number one, what the white lumens are. Well, white lumens are only effective for black and white. So if I tell you what the white lumens are, that's great, but if you're using color, that doesn't affect it. So a lot of times what happens is the white lumens are very bright, but the color lumens are usually in many cases half the brightness, which means that you're really, if you think you have a 1,000 lumen projector, you probably only have a 500 lumen projector. Now, you take that into account, plus if it's a DLP, you have a color wheel, which will cut down on the light going through it. If you have an LED, you're not going to have that color wheel to cut down on it, so that makes a difference. There's other things that you have to factor in, too. The distance at which the lumens are measured is very subjective in many cases. There's no standard at 30 feet is where you measure it, or 10 feet is where you measure it. And by the way, they say, oh, it could do a 100-inch screen, but the lumens are measured at 3 feet. You're not going to do a 100-foot screen at 3 feet, and so it throws the whole calculation off. So there's a lot you have to think about with projectors to make sure you get the bright, crisp image that you're looking for. And part of that is the screen technology too, because if you just shine this on a white wall or a black wall or any color wall, it's going to change how bright that picture looks no matter what projector you use. So you've got throw distance, you've got lens on the projector, you've got all lumens, and you've got all these different things that carry over into it.
Right.
And so also you want to look at, is it ANSI lumens? That's the way to judge it really, because if it's ANSI across the board, that's at least somewhat of a standard.
You're right.
All right, so projection screens, though, play a huge role, because a projection screen can even make a bad projector look really good.
Right. There's only so much you can do for some of the projectors out there, but fortunately, what you can do is pretty significant.
Right.
So when you have a screen, I often tell people, well, what's the difference between your standard matte white and a bed sheet is it's mainly the color temperature, it's the uniformity of your brightness, and for that you really do need a theater grade material to do that. And when it comes to white screens, they're the most affordable, but they're often not the most suitable. So like you said, you could have a projector that leaves a lot to be desired on its contrast. You would want to get a contrast enhancing material for that.
This is a screen that I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, is rear projection but also can be front projected. We put a projector on here yesterday that was 35 lumens, and it looked really good. Now, we were pretty close to it, but this is a very lit environment. and it didn't look amazing, but it was 35 lumens, and we were showing off this product. So I think it really showcases the fact that a screen makes a big difference. You've got some new screen technology. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, we've got this material right here. I got one for you, one for me. This is a ambient light rejecting material that is made for ultra short throw projectors. Now, for those out there who don't know, the reason why these are shining white right now, we're holding them upside down. The reason why these are shining white right now is they're reflecting all the ambient light that's hitting them. Turn it over, and you'll notice these angled microstructures suddenly block out the light. From where we're looking, these are now kind of a blackish, grayish, dark material. That's what you want. Now, if this is a full-fledged screen, right below it is your ultra short throw material. It's going to go up at an angle, hit it, and its spread comes straight back at you and give you this giant television quality image. So, I mean, you're going to get the full brightness. You're going to get the boost to the contrast, like you're saying. You're also going to have a lot of your color temperature enhanced. So, when you're looking at the contrast in your reds and your blues and your greens, you're going to see it, and that's a big deal. A lot of times with these white screens, if you've got a little bit of ambient light in the room, you just don't see that detail. The picture just doesn't pop.
Right, so it's really important to have a great contrast ratio on the projector, but you also need that from the screen as well. Obviously, the more you can do to help the projector, the better off you are. How did Elite Screens start?
Elite Screens started now about 14 years ago, and all of us were AV Technologies people. I came out of projectors and flat panels. A lot of people came out of similar fields, and we had our connections, we had our ideas, and we realized that even though at the time projectors and screens was very much a custom thing that few could afford, that was going to change.
Jenny's watching in Finland. He says Elite Screens are great, so that is pretty awesome. I agree, and they're affordable. I mean, I'll just be quite honest how this setup is working. We have Epson projectors. We love Epson projectors. We think they're among the best in the business, and they're very undervalued and underrated. I think these projectors happen to be about $1,400 a piece, $1,500 a piece. They're ultra short throws, which is why they're so expensive. I think, if I remember correctly, they're about 3,500 lumens, so they're not that bright. We have these are LEDs. We have projectors that are much stronger than these, but they're not ultra short throw. And then the lenses for those to make those ultra short throw are $20,000. So we go with these for this kind of thing. These are about $1,500 per projector, and then they're 1280 by 800 resolution, so they're not full HD. Right. And then we're throwing about a 10-foot image wide by about a 7 or 8 foot image tall, and then and it's very close, by the way. And then we're using, I don't know what model Elite screen we're using, but I think that we're using about $150 per screen here in cost. So this is not a tremendous cost screen-wise, which most people think of. Most great screens are $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. This would take up the wall in your room, could roll down, and is very affordable. Oh, thanks. And am I right on all that about right, Dave, on the pricing and everything? Okay, Dave says yes, and you would agree. And by the way, we didn't know you when we bought these last year. We met you here. Yeah. You were blown away that we were using Elite screens. We were excited to meet you, so there was no discount on any of this at all. This is $150 a screen, and that's how much it would cost you at home. Yeah, this is our 110. Sorry, 110. 110. Maybe I included shipping in there or tax or something. Yeah.
I was just going to say, this is our Wraithvale material. It's been really successful. Since we've come out with this, we've actually come out with a more specifically dual purpose, so you can do front or back. This looks okay if you project front on it.
I think it looks pretty good considering all the light in here and everything. Right. Of course, I would always love it to look better, so I'd love to try the newer technology, but Absolutely. This is the second year we're using it. We've used it for some other things. It's pretty durable. I mean, I don't think that your screens, correct me if I'm wrong, especially these, were meant to be rolled up and carted out and rolled up and carted out and rolled up and carted out a lot of times, but they certainly work that way and are very durable. And I was impressed with the durability of them and the strength. So this is not like a love letter. This is just the truth. That's what I'm telling
I
people.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the viewers can't physically be here and see just how bright these spotlights are.
Oh, they're bright.
And this comes off great on the monitor. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, it really does look good, and I can't thank you enough for making such great screens. And I look forward to the future. People go to elitescreens.com. Is that what they do?
Absolutely.
How did you were part of founding the company, right?
Right.
When you talk about you guys, you were part of the you guys.
Yeah, I was one of the original members.
Wow.
And yeah, we started off a small warehouse in Costa Mesa, California. And now we have our main corporate office is in Garden Grove.
Cool.
And 3 other regional facilities across the United States, international facilities. And
clearly, I mean, Elite Screens made it all the way to Finland.
Yeah.
What about? Do you get very excited when that happens? When somebody says, "Oh, I've got this in Finland" or something? You gotta get excited, right?
I do.
Yeah.
There are so many times where we've done everything from private to government facilities. So there are times where we place these orders. We have to sign NDAs that we can't put it on the website where it's going, but our screens are flies on the wall where history is being made to everyday lives.
And did you guys bootstrap this? Did you fund it yourselves and everything?
Yeah, this is not a publicly traded company. We brought
no
this
investor capital.
No,
Wow.
we had 2 shareholders, and
Yeah.
they're the 2 senior members of the company.
Sure.
And built that literally from the ground up.
Did you start this with? How much did they have to put in? You don't have to tell me exactly, but was it a couple $100,000 or was it a million, $5 million?
If I was going to guess, I would say it was probably the former. It was started pretty modestly.
Yeah.
If I was going to give someone advice just to start a business like this, it doesn't hurt to go to one of those warehousing facilities where you're not just paying for the facility, you're paying for the manpower. So if you have...
So they do fulfillment completely, right?
Exactly.
That's what you're saying?
You have a small office staff and a sales staff, maybe 2, 3, 4 people at the most, and that's a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. Good advice. What do you think of CES 2018?
It's really busy. This is my 13th CES, and the flash floods on day 1, the blackouts on day 2, it keeps it interesting. But the technology here is fantastic.
It's the only time the projectors have been out in 2 years, just so you know. Nothing to do with the screens. And we had a nice gray backdrop for a little while, which was nicer than having a white backdrop. But we were able to stay on air. And this has been, to me, the absolute best CES ever and the most exciting CES. Have you noticed any trends?
I have. And I've had quite a few people asking me about this. They say, well, we've seen some really big strides with flat panel technologies. Are you worried about that? And I said, well, if we're selling really overpriced screens, maybe so. But we're not. Our focus is getting this out for everybody. We do have a custom install division, and they're doing very well. And our CE retail has always been climbing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a time and a place for flat panels, and there's a time and a place for projector screens.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know that you're going to put a projector screen in your bedroom ever. But, you know, I mean, some people will, but I mean, that's not going to be mainstream.
Sure.
You have to take up a huge amount of wall space. This is really a kind of a viewing room, a den, a family room kind of experience. So I think that there's always a place for projectors, and there's always a place for flat screens.
I completely agree.
As big as the flat screens get, there's still something nice about a projector.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, sure, an 80-inch flat screen's nice, but you know, these are still amazing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about burning either.
Yeah. Well, you're getting 100 plus inches for as low as $1,000, $1,500, $2,000,
Yeah.
And it's good quality. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure, Mike. Thanks for having me.
He's David. I'm Michael. You're the Terrifics. We'll be back with a whole lot more. Your live continuing coverage of CES 2018 right after this. Stay with us.